potentially you can move on from Capella during the deadline and get yourself even more shooting, or you can try to start getting Okongwu to run power forward and you run Claxton and Capella at center, and Okongwu, you start hoping that he starts taking a bit more threes.
Yeah, it's a big gamble, man. I don't know if the issue with trades is teams are, you prep for the whole year essentially, and like you kind of would have to learn new things.
Also, Okongwu lied. He said he was going to start shooting threes this year. I think he's taking like 1 3.
I'm actually really liking Clint recently, so I don't really like. It's not a bad trade, but I don't. If I'm
so. I don't think Memphis would do that. I mean, they would have to. They would. Okay, so if Memphis wanted John Collins, it'd be because they're moving on from Steven Adams.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
But they wouldn't do it because they'd only trade for. And they also have Santi Aldama, who they really like. So they wouldn't do it because their future in their eyes is Santi Aldama and Jaren Jackson and Brandon Clark. And I don't see that happening. I like it.
I think they would do it, but I don't think. I think John Collins fits Memphis perfectly. I don't think that Steven Adams really holds too much value. It's kind of similarly to Clint. They're essentially Steven Adams, as we saw last year, is unplayable in the playoffs.
I know. So like the only way I see that deal happening is it would have to be like Dylan Brooks, Danny Green, Santi Aldama, and at least 1 pick. Because Danny Green's injured, so that would be just for salary filler. Then you'd have to send Dylan Brooks, who's an expiring contract, gives them a wing. You have to give up Santi Aldama, because it would become a logjam with minutes. And Santi Aldama could act as 1 first-round pick because he still has 2 years plus the qualifying offer and like restricted free agency and bird rights. And then an additional unprotected first-round pick. Which I think that's not a bad deal if you give up for John Collins, Dylan Brooks, Danny Green, 2 expiring contracts, Santi Aldama, which gives you a power forward who fits what the Hawks want to do, space the floor, pass the ball, play defense, and another first-round pick. Honestly, not a bad, because then they could go Jaren Jackson, John Collins.
But who's playing the 3?
Zaire Williams, Desmond Bane, John Conchar. They have also Jake LaRavia if they wanted to go small. They also have, they have a few options that they can go right there. It's not like
I think the way Memphis, I agree with Double J. I think the way it depends on how they view their team, because I wouldn't.
That's a win now move.
Well, yeah, but win now, Dylan Brooks is perfectly fine for me.
Nah, Dylan Brooks right now is the second worst defender, I believe, in the league, and the second least efficient shooter in the league right now.
What?
Yeah, Dylan Brooks is like shooting 40% from the field, 33 from 3, and averaging like Dylan Brooks is like a notorious inefficient, like kind of turnover prone, like he's a fun bully ball, good morale guy, but he's like not efficient whatsoever.
Yeah, I remember him when he was at Oregon. I loved Dylan Brooks. Like I love that guy.
Like for a guy who's not a passer, he averages like 2 turnovers a game. Like he turns the ball. He's a little bit sloppy.
1.6. Yeah, I get the inefficiency. It's never like he's been a crazy 3-point shooter.
No, like Dylan Brooks is a good player. Like on a championship team, I want Dylan Brooks coming off the bench playing like 24 minutes and just telling green light, and he gets the troops going. But why do you think they keep bringing in, Zaire Williams, Desmond Bane? These are all guys that they were hoping, to replace Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, Zaire's he's an interesting, enticing player. He's very young though.
So let's move on to a little thing I saw on The Athletic, and